The tour of Anastasia is coming to Chicago to the CIBC Theater September 20th through the 25th. It's a short run, so you got to make sure to get those tickets. Willem Butler here joining me to talk about the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the character of Dimitri and what we're gonna see in the show.
Yeah, I think Dimitri's character is very close to the movie. If you're a fan of the movie, he's a very similar character where he starts off very, harsh and cruel and kind of guarded and has a wall up. And then by the end, it's a love story between Anya and Dimitri. He kind of opens up to her and figures out what he really wants in life. And you get all of that in the musical that you got in the movie with more songs and more story and a few extra characters. So you're going to get more than you bargained for.
Let's talk a little bit about the costumes. Let's go ahead and start with that first, as far as like the cool costumes that you get to wear, because from the previews, it looks so beautiful on stage.
Yeah, the costumes are gorgeous, and obviously they were nominated for a lot of awards, during the Broadway season and everything, and they're absolutely worth the awards that they were nominated for. They're gorgeous in every single way. Specifically Dimitri's, it's like they pulled it right out of the movie and embellished upon it even more. When I was in the costume fittings, I remember being so excited, and really putting it on for the first time makes you really feel like Dimitri. Some of my favorite costumes are definitely in the second act. I love this blue suit that he has at the beginning of the second act. I feel very stylish in it.
We cannot wait to see that. As far as the sets, let's talk a little bit about that, because that looks just as beautiful as the costumes.
Yeah, most of the sets, especially in the tour, are these giant LED screens, which I've never really been a fan of until Anastasia. Anastasia just really makes them work in some way. I don't even know how they do it. And then we have these two palettes and gorgeous, arches. It feels like you're really in these places. It gives perfect amount of scenery for the actors to work off of, and it's always something to look at. You always have a spectacle to look at on stage.
This is your first big tour. You guys are going all across the U.S. I mean, that's why you're only in Chicago for a limited amount of time. But talk a little bit about, what this experience has been like for you.
It's been crazy. It's been a huge learning curve trying to, figure out the tour schedule and getting that in my body. I'm really excited to do one show for a really long amount of time. We're doing it for like 10 months. So that's going to be really taxing on the body. So figuring out how to take care of my voice and my body and making sure the show is fresh every night. It's something that I've been looking forward to doing for a very long time. So I'm glad I finally get to do it.
Yeah, you guys are going to be here in Chicago. The weather is beautiful right now. What's been the best part, especially going to maybe places, obviously people think of Broadway. What is it like to kind of be able to take this show and seeing the audience's faces glow in all parts of the country?
Yeah, it's incredible seeing the different people in every single country every single city that we've been to has been wonderful, because every night we have a different audience and every night we get a different energy for the show. And sometimes people find things in little moments that the other audiences didn't. And so figuring out how to play with the audience in every new city has been amazing, and it's been a great experience, and I love doing it.
For me, I love going to theater, and every show that comes to town, I want to make sure that I can catch it. But something especially, with Anastasia and some of the other shows that, might gear towards like a younger audience. So that might be one of the first movies that they love. That's like, oh, I want to go see the show. Yeah. But knowing that it's somebody's first theater experience, or you see them all dressed up, coming, making that trip to Chicago or making a trip to one of the other stops. I mean, what's it like kind of looking out and seeing that, the young audience and knowing like this is their first theater experience?
Yeah, I remember in Boston, we were watching the shows before we went on for the 23rd. And so we got a firsthand experience of these kids who were in costume and who were so excited to see it. And it made, especially me and Veronica, just so excited to be able to put on this show for those kids who probably were waiting months to come see the show that they've seen on movies and TV, and then their parents are getting them ready for it, and they finally get to come and they see both of us up on the stage and get to relive that movie all over again. It's a really exciting experience, and it really, really hits close to home for, how I felt when I was little watching shows and seeing performers up on stage on tour.
And now you get to be that person.
Exactly. It's a wonderful experience.
It's a wonderful. You just mentioned Veronica. Let's talk a little bit about Anya and the dynamic between her and Dimitri that we're going to see in the show.
Yeah, it's one of the best love stories I've ever seen. It really is one of those things where two completely different people really come together and through their experiences learn to love each other and learn how to not only get along, but end up together at the end of the show through music and dance and these wonderful sets and costumes and environments. It really is just like a love story for the ages that everyone will love.
Well, hopefully you get a chance to, get a little time off while you're in Chicago and get some deep dish pizza, do a little sightseeing, and get to enjoy our city.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of stuff planned already for during the day.
That is awesome. Willem, thank you so much for your time today. BroadwayInChicago.com is where you can go ahead and get those tickets. Again, Anastasia coming here to the CIBC Theater September 20th through the 25th.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great chatting with you.
Good to chat with you too.